Hey, it's John F. Gately. Welcome back to the show. So I have more questions than answers on this whole potential Trump indictment thing. I know I usually have more answers, but today I definitely have more questions. So, and these are like real questions because, as you know, I'm not a lawyer, but maybe some of you are, or maybe some of you have researched this stuff. And I think these are questions worth asking so that, people can understand what's going on here. So these are definitely like real questions. I'm not just asking these to expect a political answer. Maybe the first one, but let's start with the first one. So the first question that I have is kind of a bigger question of this whole process. So Trump is being investigated by Alvin Bragg, the DA in New York City. So ostensibly, what the root happened here was that Trump paid Stormy Daniels not to say anything during the 2016 presidential election, this $130,000 payment. So if he did that, doesn't that make Trump the victim of the extortion, not the perpetrator? Stormy Daniels would actually be the perpetrator. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. And if you are a victim of extortion, how do you actually record the payment? And I think that's what Alvin Bragg is getting after, that he recorded the payment inappropriately. I mean, what are you supposed to write down? Extortion payment on your business records? I don't know. I literally don't know. But right there, that's like the big, I think, question out of the whole thing. Is Alvin Bragg actually prosecuting the victim of a crime, or potentially prosecute? Right now, it's just after 11 Eastern time on Wednesday. Trump has not been indicted, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. All right, my next couple of questions are about the lawyers. It seems that we have this trend here in this case where lawyers are testifying or sharing information that they gathered from their prior clients. And I thought that was a big no-no, that you never would do that unless your client was imminently going to cause the bodily harm of somebody else or themselves. Like, you would never share. Isn't that lawyer-client confidentiality? Isn't that kind of sacrosanct? That's like I'm looking at a church out the window. Is that just like between you and your priest, right? I don't understand how Cohen, who is potentially a witness in this case, and previously, how Cohen, as Trump's lawyer, testifies against Trump. I don't get that. I thought your lawyer couldn't testify against you. So that's a big question. Also, Costello. Costello is the former attorney of Cohen, and he was brought before the grand jury Monday, and it appears that Costello has shared with the grand jury information that he learned from Cohen. So here's another attorney testifying about information he got from his client. That just seems wrong to me. I just don't understand that. And my theory about that is, and I got some notes here because there's so many questions I have. My theory is they didn't bring Cohen himself as a witness to the grand jury because Cohen's not very credible, which leads me to another question. If Cohen's not credible before the grand jury, is he going to be credible before a regular trial jury? I mean, I would imagine he'd be less so because he'd be subject to cross-examination before a trial jury. So maybe that's why they brought Costello, because Costello might be more credible. Yet on the other hand, if you listen to what Costello said on the street after his testimony the other day, he basically threw Alvin Bragg under the bus. And he also said that he produced, I'm just going to round off the number, something like 600 pages of evidence for Alvin Bragg. But Alvin Bragg only asked him about 6 pages of evidence at the grand jury. Now, that doesn't seem wrong to me, because it seems as if Alvin Bragg or any district attorney, and this is just based upon my watching 30 years of Law and Order, because I'm not a lawyer. It seems that the district attorney can present whatever they want to a grand jury, and that the other 594 pages of Costello's evidence, so to speak, will be presented to a trial jury if it goes to trial. So more questions about that. Right now, as it stands, again, just a little bit after 11 Eastern Time, Wednesday, there is no indictment. If you believe or read the Daily Mail, which is like, yeah, sometimes you have to go to the Daily Mail to actually find out, which is based in the United Kingdom, to actually find out what's going on in your own country. And if you read the Daily Mail, the idea is that Bragg will indict Trump today, and that Trump will be brought through the Secret Service process to New York sometime next week. That's the theory right now. This is not a question, but it is a major point that I wanted to say. Smart on Trump for last week kind of outing this whole process. That was a public relations coup, and also might be like a legal coup. Because it put Alvin Bragg, I think, both in a public relations box and also in a legal box by kind of outing this whole process in advance before Bragg was ready, put Bragg in a really tight spot, and smart on Trump to do that. His other strategy was to say nothing and hope he doesn't get indicted, but this preemptive leak by Trump, I think that was really smart. All right, so I'm John F. Gately here in beautiful Plymouth, America's hometown in Massachusetts, behind enemy lines. Have a great day. Bye-bye.